I would say that there should be some traction and very good problem solution for that team. Go-to-market strategy as well, and some metrics and not some metrics and financials. So, and of course, this what it's very often actually forgotten, the terms of round and some traction is needed as well. Sorry, not that short.
Welcome to Kalliomäki Podcast, exploring entrepreneurship, society, and well-being. Subscribe now to stay updated on our latest episodes.
So we are back on our favorite subject, startup scoring. And today we have a special guest, the CEO of Finnish Business Angel Network, Tiina Laisi-Puheloinen. Tiina, welcome to our Startup Scoring podcast.
Thank you, and it's nice to be here. Looking forward what we will discuss.
You have any idea what we will discuss today?
To be honest, not. But yeah, maybe we could start about the overall environment of startup investments and this kind of things that, of course, Tiina knows a lot about. So what are your sort of general thoughts about the status of the fundability of companies, financial forecasts, and maybe in the last, what is sort of your expectations of the near future about how things evolve?
Well, a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
But if I think last year it was difficult, as we all know, for startups, and the amount of investments decreased quite a lot. And we did a survey among our business angel members, and the amount what they invested last year, it was 27 million, and 2 years ago it was more than 50 million. So there we can see that the numbers are much less than they used to be, but still there is a willingness to invest. So 80% of FiBAN members told us last autumn that they are willing to invest if they find good companies. So the question is that is there enough good companies? A number of startups who have been applying funding through us, this quarter one, for example, it has remained the same. So, and I know that there is discussions with angels and startups who have been applying this year as well. But unfortunately, I don't have any statistics from quarter one, so that I could tell you that, okay, now the amount of investments are getting higher. But I don't see that climate so negative, so that there is possibilities, and good startups, they will always get funding.
You quoted me there. so it's all about the quality of the companies that are fundable. They still get the funding. But I think the sort of, we call them PowerPoint startups, don't get funding. So there has to be some traction. There has to be some really good team backing it and so.
If you have a cool sounding idea, you mightn't just lose money so easily right now, but you have some substance.
Yes, yeah, so sort of building the fundability of the company takes more time, I would say. So the sort of these lottery tickets, there are less of those. And so people are more careful in making the investment decisions at the moment. So that's the overall. So
and what we advise for those startups who are applying funding, that it's the big mistake if you had a huge need for funding, and you think that I should have this funding in 3 months or so, and it's very seldom so that it takes around 6 months. It can even take more. But I call it like more or less that it's like a relationship, that you need to get to know those people. And if you contact, for example, angel investors, you just contact them and, hey, we have this kind of startup. Please, are you willing to follow us and how we develop? So it's much easier then you have that need for funding, that maybe more than one angel investors, for example, they know already you and they have been following you. So that it's not like a blind date that, okay, now we need funding for 300 or 500,000 euros. Who does it? Nobody. That, okay, in one night that, oh, this is something that we should invest in. And this is something that many times startups forget it. Of course, you need all the time money, but still you should build up more relationships, which are, in longer period, you will get the benefit from that.
Yeah, I want to take this. Sorry, Tuomo, I'm stealing your podcast here.
Go ahead.
But
I'm talkative as well, sorry.
so we don't need Tuomo. But we had this Platform 6 excellent event in Tampere yesterday. I came back from there evening and I was like so excited, and this is like totally true. It's not just hyping. There was this panel discussion in which was one of our portfolio company founders, Markku from Polarite Energy, and also Fail Up Ventures and one of their startups. I'm sorry to not remember the name of it. But then about the timetable of building a funding round. Polarite Energy has been in CNN, BBC, all the medias in the world, all the time. How long time did they need to close this latest 7.6 million round? 10 months. I have never seen a startup from Finland to get that kind of a global audience. Then the startup founder coming to discuss with us, they always expect that, okay, it's 1 or 3 months or something. No. And then I was commenting on that sort of the fundability part of building the company to be fundable takes most of the time, not sort of the investment discussions. That's like this so-called 80-20 kind of a model, that 80% goes to the fundability part and 20% goes to the actual discussions with the investors.
And for those listening who don't know exactly what fundability means, can you give a short description?
Yeah, that's all about the series. Actually, we talk boring of it. So, but this was actually, hey, Tiina, that's for you.
This is for Tiina.
Okay, so
Your definition.
fundability. I would say that there should be some traction and very good problem solution for that team, go-to-market strategy as well, and some metrics and not some metrics and financials. So, and of course, this what it's very often actually forgotten, the terms of round and some traction is needed as well. Sorry, not that short description.
Yes, it's a long list of things that the investors evaluate, and then, but then I remember from our last series about Roope Kekäläinen from Lyg.com talking about his experience. I would like to add that he said this, and this is important to understand. He said that the biggest surprise in getting funding, and they have been getting funding like 3 rounds now, is that the investors are human beings. And they do the final decisions based on intuition. So if you ever have like a really well done, like a pitch deck and materials and Excels and all of that. That team looks good, but still, I would say the investors are willing to find the companies having the passion there behind the slides, and that's really important to have. So if you cannot push the energy levels into those discussions, it's no results.
Yeah, I would say that it's as well psychology. So
Yeah.
Not even though we think that it's only rational decisions, but it's not. It's the same thing that if you go to buy an expensive car and you have all kind of explanations, rational explanations why you bought that kind of car, and by the end of the day, it's the emotion that felt so good.
How about the future views of how do you evaluate about the global situation and its effects in the near future? So are you expecting, for instance, next year to be better or this year already, or how do you see it from the funding perspective?
Difficult to say. I hope that it will be better than last year, but very difficult to say because I don't see anything what is different than last year. If we think that the war in Ukraine is still going on, well, the inflation is not that bad, and interest rates are hopefully getting lower. So, but it might be that it will be the same, but I'm very difficult to say. Hopefully,
Can
it
I
will
give
be
you
better.
comments? Can I have a permission to say?
Absolutely.
Sorry. I think even the US package, the latest package, has an influence on the whole situation, because basically the investors and the whole market is psychological sort of thing. And I personally, because I have been following this war right from the start, so I feel like so the market goes with the sort of how the war goes. The market reacts really fast, even. We had also the experience of when the war started. We from one of our portfolio company, the funding round was collapsing immediately, and we had to sort of do a lot of work to close it. But then I'm also seeing that the general atmosphere is already getting back to normal. So it's like another day at the office type of a thing that for us humans, that okay, the war has been there, but we have to live, we have to invest, we have to look the future as well. So my expectations are that this is slowly getting back to normal.
Yeah, hope so. But one thing, it's this is not startup related, but if that the US package and if Ukrainians are able to take all out of it and we see some positive impact, then it can have, or it might have some positive impact in other branches as well. As we have a lot of expectation that last summer, for example, that what could have happened in a frontier, but it didn't. So, but this is not we are not talking about Ukrainian war, even though I'm very interested in following that as well. But yeah, sorry.
But about FiBAN, because we have also audience that might be thinking about becoming an investor in startups. Being a member of FiBAN, what would be your sort of key selling points to become a member of FiBAN?
Well, we have a very large network, more than 600 members, and we are one of the most active business angel network in Europe. Then one of the main reasons to join FiBAN is network. And now we are putting more effort to our deal flow, that we could offer our members more quality deal flow, and that's important as well. And then we are organizing very interesting events, not only Pitch Finland events, but for example, now I have to tell that we are organizing Pitch Finland DevSec, first time in Finland, huge pitch event for defense and security startups. So there will be a lot of there will be investors and commitment investors already. So we are looking for more than, well, hopefully around 100 applications for that pitch event. Now we've got already more than 50, and we don't know how many defense or security big startups there is in Finland or in Nordics or in Europe. So there, it will be interesting to see. But we want to bring those startups as well, that give those opportunities to get funding. So those are some reasons to join FiBAN.
I would say I would be adding that they have these country tours as well. I don't know how do you call them, but they visit different countries and have these kind of like network events also in outside of Finland. So
yes, we are organizing study trips, and now we are thinking that should we organize a study trip with these guys? But let's see, are we going to do it?
it was you
I don't
saying
promise.
it. It was you saying it.
I don't promise, not yet,
Yeah.
but we are thinking to do it with Jussi.
We are just the three of us here. There's no
Yeah.
audience.
But anyway, we will organize next autumn study trip to very exotic place, to Stockholm and to Poland, at least maybe to United States with Boardman.
The good reasons for people thinking about investing, angel investing, and how to sort of, because I think angel investing is not investing in the traditional way, and we should always explain it, that investing just money, that's not angel investing. So if you invest into stocks and all of those traditional stuff, but if you want to become a super angel investor, you have to reach the heart of the founders and help them. So I don't remember if it's Kim Väisänen or Riku Asikainen or both. I think it was Kim, because he has those
few
investments. I think Kim said it once, that actually angel investing is paying of being able to work. So basically you pay first and then you start working for free. It's helping also the startups to succeed. It's not just giving the money.
But we asked last summer startups who have been applying funding through FiBAN that what they are expecting. That's very true. They are expecting, of course, money, but they are expecting business angels network, that they can use their networks and their experience, that they could help in that sense as well. So not only money, but one thing what is important, that what we have noticed, that sometimes, very seldom, but sometimes we hear that one person might think that he or she is angel investor, even he or she puts only few thousand euros, and then she's or he's expecting to work there and get salary or sell his or her services. So that's not angel investing. So that the money is important, or the most important thing, even though the networks and help is as well needed. But yeah.
Then I would like to add something for the founders' point of view about FiBAN. So what would be your key selling points about FiBAN and knowing FiBAN from the founders' perspective?
Sorry, please repeat it.
Okay, so how about the founders' perspective, how do you see how FiBAN is valuable for the founders, and how should they follow you as well?
Well, for founders, of course, there is possibility to find investors. That's maybe the one of the most important thing. The other one, they can get some, for example, from Microsoft Azure credits through us. Those are valuable as well. And then they get feedback from our network and from our deal flow manager, which is very valuable if you don't have that much experience, for example, making the pitch deck, etc. So every founder who is leaving deck through our website, they get some feedback. So that's our promise for startups, that this is
And
something.
then you select these. Was it 8 times a year that you have
8
these
times.
pitching events also for
Yeah.
selected startups?
Yeah. And we give them feedback before and after pitches as well, that did it go well, and etc.
Does winning this kind of pitching event or succeeding there automatically mean that you're going to get funding, or is it more like visibility and place to learn or get validation?
All of those, but it's not, we can't promise that they get funding, but if they are good enough, it's most certainly that because usually in our Pitch Finland events there is around 70 to 120 business angels in place. So if you are not able to validate or give a good impression for angel investors in that event, that might tell that, okay, now I should improve my pitch deck or my business idea or traction or whatever. But that's good possibility.
I think it's also good of getting really feedback, because feedback is all about, like, when you are building your fundability. You cannot just call the investors and, hey, this is the case, do you want to buy or not? But you have to first coach yourself, sort of what we are doing a lot, that we are talking about how to reach the investors, how to build a big pitch deck, how to pitch, and these things that you can learn from those as well.
And one important thing what we are telling to our angel investors, that when they give feedback to startups, so that don't say that this is not good idea or this is not fundable, because it might be that it's that one person's opinion, and there might be hundreds of angels who might think that this is okay. So it's always one person's opinion. But if, of course, startup gets that same feedback from tens of angel investors or whomever, then you should think that, okay, there might be some truth in that.
Yeah, and you have to fix it, but it's not doable. So my personal idol from this area is Muurikainen, actually, because I have sort of felt that I want to be that guy someday that has the same kind of spirit towards the founders. So as an example, Riku says it that, hey, if I'm not investing, it doesn't mean anything. You can still be a billionaire. And this is good to understand and always remember that people have so different kind of scoring models as individuals, that if they see, for instance, that, hey, I could really help that company. So if it's not sort of ready yet, they might even enjoy more to work with that company as an angel investor. For instance, I have once, not that many times, but at least once, I remember the investor who said that, I'm actually not investing because you really seem to not need me. So that's also something that they are not just putting money in, hoping the best, but if they can see really that they can help, then it's valuable for them as well.
Yeah. So Tuomo, sorry, I think that we did you have some
Criminals.
questions as well?
I'm getting the best that the startup world has to offer, which is learning. It's been a interesting ride, this coming to the startup world, and I'm enjoying what I'm hearing from both of you guys here. So that's great. I think we can book another podcast for the future also and go more deeply to some other stuff.
Yeah, I agree, because we should do something, because pricing, I've been doing dynamic pricing for 5 years in startups and selling dynamic pricing services. And that is something that it takes much more longer time that we should do it, because pricing is very difficult for many startups and they don't know how to set up the good prices or what is the pricing model, what they should use, etc. So next time we will
Next
discuss.
time, absolutely. Let's take a lot of time, dive deep to pricing.
Yes.
Audience is gonna enjoy it. People are gonna learn. That sounds great. We're actually closing in on or actually we're exceeding our original time limit. So I just suggest we throw in some last plugs here. Would you like to recommend your next event, Tiina, or some other resources that FiBAN can give people who want to learn more?
We have actually, we are participating in Arctic 15, and there will be a syndication led by FiBAN members. That's something that you should take a look at our website. Then the other one is that Pitch Finland DevTech. So if your company is...
Was it in June or?
Is it the 7th of June? But startups can apply until 10th of May. So those are two very important or good events, and we have own normal Pitch Finland 12th of June as well. So a lot of events before summer. So welcome, and please send your applications.
You heard it, people. Get moving. Time to learn. All right. Thanks a lot, Tiina. I'd love to do this again. And
Me too.
let's keep in touch about that, and hopefully we can get some more.
Yeah.
For our audience.
Yeah, thanks, Tiina.
And thanks
Have a
for
nice
inviting me. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.